Here's a Halloween story for you that isn't much fun, and it doesn't come with sweets. I wouldn't advise anyone of a nervous disposition to watch this video, and it's certainly not suitable for children. I'm Granniopteryx. Okay, so more stories are coming out now from the Hamas body cams and from first responders who went in to the devastated Israeli farms that Hamas had first attacked. And you remember that German young woman who was at the peace party, and for a while the parents thought that she was still alive because her credit card was still being used. Well, she died there at the party. Apparently she'd been beheaded or partially beheaded, so it looks like they tried to take her head off with some sort of implement that didn't quite work. They found skull fragments at the site, but not before they'd got the number of her credit card from her. Well, you see, these are people of principle, and money's money, and it looks like money is one of their guiding principles. And they do say money is the root of all evil, so yeah, these people are really evil. And I don't usually say that about people, but recently that word has been cropping up a lot in my mind. And there are hundreds of thousands of people in the streets of London celebrating that. Anyway, another story cropped up, and I've been thinking for a while how to tell you about it. I'm sorry for those of you who can't read the screen, but I honestly don't want to read it out, so I'll just show the news report. My apologies. That threw me. That threw me for a six when I saw that. And this in the National Review: yes, Hamas committed unspeakable atrocities. And these atrocities were to do with children, with babies. Now, the depths of evil in most Western civilizations, I suppose in most civilizations, are when you are committing evil acts on children. And so I'm talking about the spread of evil in the world. The Hamas did this. Remember that respectable, so-called respectable American doctors are doing awful things to American children and British children right now as well. And I believe it's all part of the same thing. There's an infection of evil going on. But to go back to Hamas and what they did to babies, it literally is unspeakable. But I'm going to end with an interview with a Hamas spokesman on Russian TV. And you can see they don't care about anybody. Not even the people they say they're fighting for. This is a man, well, I'm using the term man in the loosest possible sense. He has the appearance of a human being, and he's called Musa Abu Marzouk, a Hamas spokesman, and he's talking to, in Arabic, to an interviewer on RTV.
وهذا سؤال رائج وشائع، يعني من قام بتشييد 500 كيلومتر من الأنفاق لماذا لم يشيد مآوي يلجأ إليها المدنيون خلال القصف؟
نحن شيدنا الأنفاق لأنه لا نملك ما ندفع به عن أنفسنا من القتل والاستهداف. هذه الأنفاق من أجل أن نحمي أنفسنا من الطائرات، نحمي مقاتلين من الأنفاق. أما القطاع غزة فأنت تعلم والجميع يعلم بأنه 75% منه لاجئين، واللاجئين هو مسؤولية الأمم المتحدة في حمايتهم، مسؤولية الاحتلال في أن يقدم تبعا لاتفاقية جنيف الدولية أن يقدم لهم كل الخدمات وهم تحت الاحتلال.
Okay, so I'll play that again and I'll just go through it a little bit.
يتساءل، وهذا سؤال رائج وشائع، يعني من قام بتشييد 500 كيلومتر من الأنفاق، لماذا لم يشيد مآوي يلجأ إليها المدنيون خلال القصف؟
Right. So the Israelis build shelters for their citizens, have always asked why shelters aren't made for Gaza citizens, why they are actually put on the roofs of buildings that are targeted for attack. Well, as we know, they don't care about these people. They're just grist to their mill for their own ends. So anyone who thinks that Hamas is a freedom fighter for Gaza will have to consider the fact that they don't mind how many Gazan citizens are killed. They're not freedom fighters. They are an army of occupation trying to occupy the next country as well as the one they already have control of. They are fighting for Iran, not for the people of Gaza. So he says, yeah, we've built the tunnels, but they're for the use of Hamas only.
يدنا الأنفاق لأنه لا نملك ما ندفع به عن أنفسنا من القتل والاستهداف.
Right. So the tunnels are the only way they can protect themselves from being killed. Hamas. And there are babies outside that they don't care about.
هذه الأنفاق من أجل أن نحمي أنفسنا من الطائرات، نحمي مقاتلين من الأنفاق. أما القطاع غزة فأنت تعلم والجميع يعلم.
I might say that they make lots of videos about how saying that we're out there fighting, throwing rockets at Israel, while the Jews are cowering in shelters. That's what they say. That's a big thing they've often made much of, their bravery. They're firing rockets, and and they think, oh, this is marvelous. The Israelis are cowering in their shelters. And that's what they're doing. Somebody recently said that everything Hamas and most of their supporters are accusing the Jews of, they are actually doing themselves. Right, so let's carry on with this. 75% of the people are refugees. Well, they're refugees because Hamas has made them refugees now. But that doesn't seem to occur to him, because they're not people to him. So you can play around with words and definitions or whatever. This is the responsibility of the United Nations. Yeah, we make them refugees, and when they're refugees, right, not our problem anymore. That's for the world to look after, mostly the Western world. So, folks, you have to know you're paying for them to cower in tunnels while they leave babies and children out in the open, while Israelis are in there trying to get at them because of what they did to the Israeli babies. And what they did to the Israeli babies is beyond Well, it was beyond my ability to imagine, actually, until I saw that newspaper headline. Okay, let's carry on. So this is the responsibility of the UN.
مسؤولية الاحتلال في أن يقدم
He is quoting the Geneva Convention. I believe there's some expression somewhere about the devil quoting the Bible if it suits his purpose. You know, I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in this good and evil stuff. I believe it's all here inside ourselves. But it does look to me like there's some sort of virus of evil going around that, well, I actually do find it incomprehensible.
تبعا لاتفاقية جنيف الدولية أن يقدم لهم كل الخدمات وهم تحت الاحتلال.
As long as they're under occupation. Gaza wasn't under occupation. There were no Israelis or Jews or anything. They wouldn't have had Jews in there in Gaza since 2005. So they've redefined occupation, and now they're redefining the Geneva Convention. And they went into Israel and they did this. When I saw that, well, I didn't see that. I saw another article about it. I spent the whole, this was yesterday night, I spent the whole evening in despair, complete despair. Okay, till next time.